longest fought, well, I wouldn't say the longest fought for constitutional amendment, but a constitutional amendment that has fought for 100 years. And so let's talk about the Constitution first off. The Constitution is basically the blueprint of our country. It's kind of the foundation upon which we stand. And the Constitution lays out a process if we want to change the Constitution. And that is in Article 5. And what it says is that, if you want to make an amendment to the Constitution, you have to receive 3/4 of Congress and the Senate to approve it, and then you have to ratify 38 states, right? Yeah. And once you hit all those goals, then what you are fighting for becomes a part of the Constitution. Well, 100 years ago, when women were, it was more than 100 years ago, when women were fighting for the right to vote, they were asking for the simple right to have a voice in their political system. And, some people read the Constitution and they're like, well, doesn't it include men and women? But when we see the fight that women had to endure just to gain the right to vote, they were being thrown in prison, they were being physically beaten. We obviously know that the Constitution wasn't necessarily including women, And, this isn't about giving us special treatment. We just want, the same rights as anyone else. And so during that time when they were fighting for the right to vote, and they finally got the right to vote, they also proposed something called the Equal Rights Amendment. And all the Equal Rights Amendment proposed is that all rights and protections in the Constitution are guaranteed to every single U.S. citizen regardless of their sex. And it seems pretty simple, right? The law is not, they're not legally, what's the right word? They're not legally obligated to actually treat all citizens equally. And so that's many people say that's surprising, but it's not surprising. But the thing is this constitutional amendment has already received everything it needs to become a part of the law. And, some people think that when we're talking about women's rights or equal rights, it's automatically about reproductive rights. That's not the case with the ERA, the Equal Rights Amendment. This goes from everything, to privacy protection, property rights, violence against women, sexual exploitation of women, and everything, And so this is a really important amendment to pass because this is about everything in our lives. And again, people say, well, don't the states, protect women? And each state is different. The federal ERA is needed so that every single, and this is not just for women either, the text is simply, regardless of sex, all rights and protections are guaranteed to you. So say the law somehow favors a woman, then if this were passed, men would also be guaranteed an equal treatment of that law. So this is very important, not just for women, but for men. And so, so it's blocked up right now. So like I said, the Constitution provides a platform, basically, on how these amendments can be passed. We've already reached everything we need to reach. It's just being blocked because of some random arguments that there was a deadline that we passed. Well, the 27th Amendment was actually published 200 years after it started, after it was proposed. So it's kind of, as a friend of mine would say, it's hogwash, And so all we really need, all that's legally required is for the president to pick up the phone, call the archivist, and instruct the archivist to publish the Equal Rights Amendment as our 28th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. And so our piece today, if you don't see it, is up here. If you want to get footage of the art piece. It is all of us on our phones, on the phone to the president, urging him to get on the phone and to call the official archivist so that he can publish the ERA as the 28th Amendment. And if you see up there, we have a flapper girl and a suffragette back from, when they were fighting for the right to vote, because that's how long we've been fighting for this amendment.
for over 100 years, and we're simply asking for equal treatment under the law. We're not asking for special treatment. We're asking for equal treatment. And it's kind of a no-brainer, but who knows? The unfortunate thing is that no one knows about this anymore. Younger generations don't understand it because, our aunts and our grandmas and our moms, back in the 70s, they were working so hard, and then it just kind of fizzled out because of Roe versus Wade. And I'm not, saying that Roe versus Wade is a bad thing, but it got eclipsed by that. But this is so fundamental to every single woman and man, really, and so that's why I find it so important to work on this. So I'm going to stop talking, but thank you all so much. We're going to have some more speakers, so please stay around. So I wanted to introduce Nathalia, my collaborator for this, my local collaborator. Yeah, she is a founder of a local women's group that she started this year, and they're doing interesting, cool things. And if you want to say something, yeah. Alright, so very excited to be here today on behalf of the Red Clover Coalition, which is my local group that I started recently. We've been working with Pat recently on learning a lot about the Equal Rights Movement because it was not something that I actually was aware of until a few months ago. So we've been doing a lot of research on that. We're really excited to be able to collaborate on this with her and to continue doing work to get it passed. And we're in it for the long haul and trying to do what we can to help everyone in the community make all the good things happen and get it done. Yes, and in your mini constitutions I gave you, there's actually a phone number and a texting number where you can text the president, the White House, and tell them to publish the Equal Rights Amendment. So I also wanted to take a minute to thank our sponsors. So the attorneys Perry Sanders and John Good, this is their building, and they donated it to us. So thank you. Perry was going to stop by if he could, but he's a super busy person, so I don't think he's here. But I also wanted to thank our creative sponsor who helped actually put the installation together. So Christiane and Shelby-Ann, they're with the Creative Consortium, and they were working really hard along with us to get this done in time. And I wanted to give them an opportunity to share why they wanted to sponsor this.
Hi, I'm Shelby-Ann.
I'm Christian. Speak into the mic.
Okay. We work at Creative Consortium. We are a local company here in the Springs. We do a bunch of different stuff. But when we first got the call from Katrina, asking if we could do anything to help with the project at all, my first thought was like, oh my god, yes, please. Please let us do this. Please let us help you. I was so excited. And then the second thought that I had was kind of just about our company. One of our main brand values is we make together. So we love working with locals here. We love working with Katrina. We have loved working with Equal Means Equal and the LWD. And we just thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting us do this. Thank you so much for letting us put this up. And we just feel very lucky and blessed to be able to help you guys out with this. So thank you.
Yeah, if the live streamers will show another shot of the art. Yeah, so that's their doing. Thank them. That's right. So, I didn't tell you some of our other collaborators. So there's a national group called Equal Means Equal, and they're actually doing projects like this all across the country. So this is not specific to our city. There are other cities in the country that are doing this, and it's just to bring some energy to this movement and tell the president, we haven't forgotten about this, and we really want to get this done because it's important. I think it's offensive to our aunts and grandmas and moms for this to not go through. They've been fighting. I mean, it's hard organizing. Can you imagine getting everything passed for a constitutional amendment? We need to pass the Equal Rights Amendment for them. So one of our other collaborators is the League of Voters. They've been fighting for this since the 70s. And before I put it over to them, we have Les who wanted to say a couple words in support. So you'll have to introduce yourself. I don't know how you'd like to,
I don't know, but I want to be.
Oh, sorry.
So, I'm Les Thompson. I'm the president of the Colorado Springs Area Labor Council. We're just a coalition of local unions in the area. You know, democracy is what unions are for. Specifically workplace democracy. Okay. So, workplace democracy. You know, when you stop and think about it, when we go to work, we forfeit all of our constitutional rights. We no longer have the right to free speech. We no longer have the right to due process or protection against illegal search and seizure of our property. And so we stand for democracy. We stand for equality. You won't find more equality anywhere else than in a union workplace. Because all workers stand equal. With that, we stand for the Equal Rights Amendment. I'm a man of few words. Katrina put it out there. Make your phone call today. Don't wait. Before you leave this corner, make that call.
Let's give it up for Les. If you didn't hear, he's kind of the leader of the local unions here. He's a super awesome man, and he's always putting together special things for, locals and local candidates. And, some of you don't know that I was running as a candidate earlier this year, and he was one of my favorite people that I met, along with James Bowling here. So, anyway, I would like to bring up Holly and, the whole team.
Hi guys.
Hey, how are you? Okay, so they're going to tell a little bit about what the League of Women Voters have been doing nationally, because the League of Women Voters have been very organized around this all across the country. So they're going to update us a bit, and I'm excited to hear what they have to say. So just make sure to talk straight in. So there you go.
Hi everybody. Hey everybody. My name is Holly Murphy, and I work for the League of Women Voters of the United States, an organization that was founded in 1920 by leaders of the women's suffrage movement. For 100 years, we've been a nonpartisan activist grassroots organization that believes voters should play a critical role in democracy. Now, I may be repeating what some of the other fabulous speakers already stated. These are facts that should be repeated time and time again until they become systems change. More than 100 years after some of the women gained the right to vote, people in the United States are still not constitutionally guaranteed equality on the basis of sex. The Equal Rights Amendment, or the ERA, will update the U.S. Constitution to protect the equality of rights under the law regardless of sex. The ERA has met all ratification requirements, and now we are urging Congress to act to ensure the ERA is published. So why do we need the ERA? Women continue to battle systematic discrimination in the form of unequal pay, workplace harassment, pregnancy discrimination, domestic violence, limited access to comprehensive health care, and more. We must address the root cause of inequality by amending our Constitution. The ERA will elevate the standards by which the court scrutinize sex-based discrimination, protect against the rollback of rights, and pave the way for further legislative progress towards sex and gender equality. Joint resolutions have been introduced in both chambers of Congress that will both affirm that the ERA is a valid part of the Constitution and address the question of a ratification timeline. In April 2023, the Senate brought this resolution to the floor. A bipartisan majority of senators supported it, but failed to reach the 60-vote threshold to overcome a filibuster. We will keep pushing to gain support for this resolution in both chambers of Congress, but we need everyone's help. I encourage you and everyone you know to contact your members of Congress and the President on the resolution that the League of Women Voters supports. The resolution would affirm the validity of the ERA as part of the Constitution to help support getting the ERA officially published. Join the League of Women Voters in this and other efforts to make democracy work by becoming a League member. We are people power. Tell Congress that equality belongs in the Constitution and affirm the ERA.
Yeah.
Thank you, Holly. So you've got Julie Otto here, also a League member. Holly Murphy, she is with our National League. So Julie and I'm Shelley Roars. I'm the spokesperson for the local League of the Pikes Peak region. Just like Holly said, the League, equal means equal. Your Red Silver Coalition is amazing. Thank you so much for doing that. And your business as well as supporting. And IBAW, shout out to you guys. We have some forums at your location this year. So thank you all for supporting this. Katrina, thank you for including us as well. We're glad to be here, and again, we still have a lot of work to do, so do what you need to do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, if anyone else wants to come up and speak, you're welcome to. Anyone? Okay, all right. Here's an awesome state house candidate, James Boland. He's another one of my favorite people that I've met this year when I was running, and he's just a wonderful person, and I have no idea his stance on the ERA, so we'll hear about it.
My name is James Bullets. I'm running for House District 18. I just want you guys to know that all men are created equal. I don't believe that it just means men. I mean, it belongs to everyone. When that phrase was written, blacks didn't have the same rights, women didn't have the same rights. But I believe when our founders wrote that, they really did believe in including everyone. And so, Martin Luther King, I had the pleasure, I was born in the 60s, I'm one of the last baby boomers. So, he said it was not the color of your skin, but the character of your person. And so, I'm a type of a person, I'm an employer, a self-employed carpenter contractor. I've had the pleasure of hiring several men and several women. And honestly, it should all belong to merit, right? You guys if you're doing a better job than he's doing, I should be paying you more than I should be paying him, right? And that's my philosophy. I want to be treated the way that you want to be treated, right? You want to be treated the way that I want to be treated. I'm not going to stand here and take up all your time. I do have a 11:25 Zoom meeting. But I just want to know, I'm not scared. I come out here, I want to talk to the ladies, I want to talk to the men. Everyone is created equal, and again, I believe in merit system. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I hope I get you guys votes if you're from District 18. And those of you who are watching on streaming, please look up my James for HD18.com and check out my story. I'm not a political guy. I'm not one of these guys that's going up there with an agenda. I'm going up there to point out the consequences of the bills that they are going to be putting forth. So 700 bills is kind of silly, but I'll be representing you guys. So I appreciate you. Kat, her and I met at one of Les's events. And we became friends right after that. We met in the park again, and so we've been kind of bumping into each other. She sends me events, I send her events. And I really do appreciate you coming here and having me today to speak.
Thank you. Thank you, James. And thank you, everyone, for coming. Again, this is kind of something that we're going to have to keep educating people about. The whole issue is education. And so that's part of what our mural is about. That's what this event is about, and I believe in the power of effort. So it doesn't matter that we didn't have hundreds of people out here. I believe in the ripple effect. So this is going to make a difference. On my way here, I saw a random man. He was taking pictures of this, and he was super. I thought he was someone here for our event. He was just a random passerby. So I know it's already working. And I just thank you all for being here. Thank you for being a part of this movement. And here is a QR code, actually, that you can scan, and it takes you to Equal Means Equal, which is the national group that we collaborated with. And they do cool things all over the country. And so we really want to get this done. Please text and call those numbers. And, yeah, so that's all I have to say. Thank you all so much for coming, and, let's get this done. So, thank you.
Thank you, Katrina, for putting this together.